Hi guys, this is Ozoz Kitchen Butterfly coming to you today from Mississauga in Canada. I'm a food writer, food explorer, recipe developer, photographer, and everything to do with food. In Nigeria, we use a lot of tomatoes, and one of the things that I discovered is tomato skin powder, right? And the way it happened is that one day I was making pasta sauce for my children and I didn't have canned tomatoes, and so I skinned the tomatoes, but I didn't want to throw away the skins because I had a lot and it felt like really wasteful. I started thinking of the things that I could do with it, and one of them was I popped them in the oven and dehydrated them and created this umami rich, bright red powder. So if you'd like to see more of me in the kitchen, cooking and creating these sorts of recipes, then make sure you subscribe to Food 52. So it's time to go make some tomato skin powder. Let's go into the kitchen. So to make the tomato skin powder, I like Roma tomatoes. They're some of my favorites. Sometimes I have beefsteak tomatoes or kind of like the bigger, rounder tomatoes, and I use those as well. I find out that the skins of these are thinner than the Romas. You can also use like cherry tomatoes, a whole variety of cherry tomatoes. Obviously, it'll take you longer. And the first thing I'm going to do is basically score the tomatoes at the base. Just with a knife, just cut across at the base. And what will happen is that when you put them in boiling water, you'll find the skin curling away and you'll be able to peel it off easily. So just score these. If you're wondering what's going to happen to the skin tomatoes, they're going to go into some pasta sauce. I'm going to blitz them down. And I find that ripe tomatoes give a much better result than unripe ones. So that's what we do. Once I'm done with this, I'm going to do some of the yellow ones as well. I can imagine that, if you can get some nice green tomatoes, those would be gorgeous. So now that the tomatoes are skinned, it's time to get them into some boiling water, and we'll turn that off and we'll take it from there. And I'm going to put a lid on that, and I'm just going to turn it off and leave that for a couple of minutes till the crosses at the bottom, the skin starts to peel away. The key to this is boiling water. That will do the magic in getting the tomato skins to separate from the tomatoes themselves. So a couple of minutes and we'll be done. So I'm going to get the tomatoes out, but look at that. See how the skin's pulled away? We'll just get them into the colander. So I'll show you just how easy it is to take the skins off the tomato. So let's take off the tomato skins and lay them on our kitchen napkins, paper towels. They come off nice and easy, clean, and we want the paper towel to absorb some of the moisture. You'll feel a difference if the tomatoes aren't very ripe. They resist coming off a bit more. So all that's done. We have our leftover tomatoes, which I'll turn into some sauce later on. That's it. I just gently pat dry once the skins are off. And then this can go onto a freshly lined plate and into the microwave. You want a single layer so they get a good chance to dry. So it's time for the tomato skins to go into the microwave. I start on 2 minutes and then I kind of progress in 30-second bursts till I get them crisp and dry. For the cherry tomatoes and the smaller ones, I found it easiest to just pinch the top. So grab the tomato, cut side at the bottom, and just pinch the top, and they just seem to kind of slip off nicely. Let me go check on the ones in the microwave. Oh, careful, the plate is hot. So they're drying, sticking a bit to the napkin, but they're not very crisp. So I'm gonna put this back in 30-second bursts and I'll let you see the final thing. I'm going to show you how to turn the tomato skins into powder or flakes. For flakes, you can do a couple of things. Just get the tomato skins and crumble. Just crumble, 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 and you'll have different sized flakes. You could also get a mortar and pestle, or you can add a pinch of salt, coarse, and then just, I like to use the flakes on things where, you know, the size doesn't matter and you get the nice contrast between large pieces, small pieces. So I'm just going to continue working my pestle. This is our tomato skin salt flakes. Nice and easy. So now it's time to get my tomato skins into the spice mill to make tomato skin powder. Just basically getting tomato skins in. You can hear that dry, crisp sound. I'm going to put the lid over this and grind. So there's our tomato skin powder. I'm going to turn that out so you can see what it looks like compared with the flakes. And what you can do is you can make different combinations. You can combine the tomato skin powder with sugar or salt to rim a glass. One of my favorite ways is to add a bit of black peppercorns, toasted cumin seeds, and salt to make like a spice blend. And this is going to go into my spice grinder and I'm going to create a powder of this. So there's my tomato skin, cumin, black pepper, salt mix. Another thing you can do is add the tomato skin powder, chili flakes, a pinch of salt to make another version. So these are a few different ways to make tomato skin powder, flakes, but also to combine them with other spices and seasoning. Now I'm going to show you how I use them. I'm going to start with some yogurt, just seasoned however you like. And I'm going to take some of that tomato skin mix and just sprinkle over the top for a nice, bright burst of tomatoey goodness. I've got a touch of sugar. I'm just going to mix that in with some tomato skins. I'm going to put a bit more. And I'm going to put it in the lime juice in orange juice one more time. And then that's going to go in our mix. And you could do this for a margarita, a Bloody Mary, or any other cocktail. Doesn't that look great? Just nicely top it up with a drink, and you can, garnish with a slice of lemon or whatever you want. So here are a couple of ways to use your tomato skin powder and flakes. Sprinkle some over yogurt, use some to rim a glass. I hope you've enjoyed making tomato skin powder and flakes with me today. Let me know in the comments how you're using your tomato skin powder and flakes, what you're sprinkling them on, how you're mixing them in, and if you're rimming glasses with it, let me know what you're drinking. Cheers and thank you very much.